Okay, here we go. So we're going to focus on mobility first. We're going to open up some joints. So I promise I'm going to post this one and the other two as soon as we get off today because I have time. Because I lost all of my 40 some guests from yesterday. Okay, are you ready? So when you're thinking about getting more mobile and just feeling better, yes, warming up, absolutely. And what's the best way of warming up? Well, walking, because you don't have to think about much. See? So I'm going to do your thinking. We're going to start from the feet coming up, and we're going to open up the joints. Okay, so how do we do that? Well, we can walk like this, and we can get warm up. That's going to make everything work better. See, here's my little pad. I'm kind of walking, but I'm stepping in. When I step in now, when I step off, because I'm going to do this first part in mobility opening. Do you see what I did? So instead of just stepping back, I want to turn my toe, this one that's going to step to the side and come down. So just stay with me on this, okay? I'm barefooted. I hope you can be barefooted. Some of you have some plantar fasciitis issues, arthritis issues that you got to be careful. But you see what I did? I just opened up my hip a little, okay? Then I stepped back onto this very squishy platform. Then I drop my shoulders. Then I turn and I come down. I don't do it repeatedly and quickly. I'm talking about like, steady state motion. I'm thinking how I'm putting my foot down here because now I'm going to take my hand and open it. Do you see that? So as you're stepping, you're opening, okay? Take a big deep breath through your nose. You're going to come back, shut the door. So it's kind of like you're opening the door, shutting the door. Okay, so I'm on my uneven or very smushy platform. Then when I step down, I'm going to carefully step down and actually open that foot out, but don't collapse here. See, if this comes in, you want to keep this open, and you open the door with your shoulder. So if you're going to open the door and really open up your shoulder, you got to keep your elbow down. Then, see, I'm going to come back up on here. Some of you are just kind of throwing your leg up there. So I'm saying lower your center of gravity. See this? See this? See this? Yeah. Then I'm going to come up and I'm going to open the door again. I'm going to step here. I'm going to open that door. Don't collapse this knee. Take a big deep breath. Keep your chin tucked. And you've just lowered your center of gravity. Keep your elbow down. Open. Breathe in through the nose. And then bring it back. Yay. So now I'm going to step off. I'm going to approach my chair. And so whenever I go to one-legged stance, I probably don't want to be on this because that will throw you. You can always have a pole. But when you come up here, you see, you're ready to put your hands here and you're ready to do a little bend and then a turn. You see what I just did? So I'm repeating what I did here, but now my knee is at a measured level, okay? Now it's up here, and I just did a little turn. Then I'm going to say rib cage up, and then I'm going to open a little more. And then I'm going to come back in. Then I'm going to take the other leg up. So I'm going to come right here. I'll turn it like this. You see what I'm doing? See that? So I'm all the way up there. So how am I going to get my leg to turn? So we already turned here by stepping, correct? Number one, drop your shoulders. Number two, take a big breath. Make sure your diaphragm's coming out when you breathe. Number 3, you just turn. You just turn just a little, okay? You keep this leg open. Now you've turned that knee. Now you've opened the door again. This is up at a measured height from your hip. And then you come back in and you come back down. Now we can start opening up through the chest. I'm going to go here first, and I'm going to go to the floor. Some of you may not want to go to the floor. That's okay. So I'm going to be right here on the balls of my feet. First thing I'm going to do is soften my elbows, drop my shoulders, step myself back. Take a big deep breath, roll into the heel just for a second. Drop your shoulders, drop your chin, soften your elbows, step back, roll into the calf, okay? Try your best not to rotate back with your upper body. Just drop your shoulders and drop the heel. That should be stretching the calf right there. And don't just sit on it hard. Come back up to the toe point and drop back in, okay? And so very minimally do I go back here. I'm trying to drop. Roll into the heel. Then you step back, do it one more time. Toe point, stretch through those toes, roll into the heel. And as you roll into the heel, come lower, don't go back, okay? So act like I'm just kind of like pulling your armpits forward as you're stepping into the heel. And then don't just sit on it. Bring it back, press it, pump it back and forth, just like this. Pump it back down, drop your elbows, and that should help your calves really get some stretch going right there. And then you pump up and back. See that? Up and back. So ease it up. Don't take it too hard. Then step forward. Last time. Press down, and press down. Now we're going to come back to this move because we're going to start at the high level right here. We're going to do 2 big main moves right now. Do you see how I have my knees bent? My back is flat. I'm hip hinging. And I'm going to take one hand and just come up like that. You see how my upper body is rotating? Keep your chin tucked. And then you're going to reach up over your head. Yeah. Keep your shoulder down, breath, breath, breath. Come back. Other side. Here we go. Hip hinge. Chin tucked. Push your butt back. Open the door again. So a lot of opening of the door. And so you'll rotate. You'll rotate. In through the hips. Keep the elbow bent. Open. Come back down. So this rotation right here. Until you feel it starting to stretch right in through here. Yeah, the pectoral right there as it goes into your shoulder. Then you come down. See the rotation? Drop your shoulder. Reach. Rotate, 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 rotate. Then come down. Follow that with pushing your hands right into your chair. Boom. Right into your chair. And push your butt back. So you're not really pulling on your chair, but you are setting up a really good mobility. Through the shoulders, the hips. Oh my goodness. Now go into a hyperextension right here in the back. Then rotate up. Take your shoulders to your ears. Keep your feet grounded. Yeah, all 4 corners. Shoulders to the ears, shoulders to the ears, shoulders to the ears. Yay. One more big stretch. Hands go to the back of the chair. Push your butt back. Shoulders come to the ears. Push, 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 and then come back in. So that move right there, whether you do it the way we did it just now, or whether you get against a door, or whether you get against a post, a pole in your basement, a bedpost, something that's not going to move, and you push back, and then you open. Those two moves are, put them in your little head. Keep your chin tucked. So see, I'm doing just another version of what I just did from the chair. See how I'm pushing my butt back and I'm grabbing and letting my lats really move forward. And then I come back up. So I did two versions of what I just showed you. Very important first move for mobility. Okay, take one hand and say, pick me, pick me. See that? And just lift a hip up as if you were gonna step on top of this. See that? And then I go back. So what I'm wanting you to do is raise this hip bone almost 2 inches. Okay, and some of you are saying, well, how do I know that? This thing right here is 2 inches high. So I'm gonna do it on this side. See how I brought my hand up? I didn't throw it. I kept my joints soft. My tummy is in, my shoulders are down. I step up on this and I act like I'm trying to reach something really hard. So once you are reaching like that, up, straight up, you're over a little, then you bring that leg back. So now I'm opening all here. I'm getting those lats to really reach. I'm hanging out there for just a couple seconds. Then I come down. See how that's open? And I use this to be my little measuring. So I just like, act like you're stepping up. This is a really easy one to remember. So the 3 that I just did was aimed at really trying to help your back and your hips open. And this one, combined with those first 2, wow. So you just go, pick me, pick me. I got my foot here, see that? Then I want to really be picked. So I reach up over a little, but not much. So once I've gotten to that point, then I take this leg back. See that? Yeah. And you really stretch up through there. Take a big deep breath. Big deep breath, big deep breath, big deep breath. And you come back down. Nice. Now we already started with one of the main ways to open up your joints is, they typically call it the warrior. But we've done this already. We did it off this, but we're gonna try it this way. So we're gonna open here. So you just come to your W. See, all I did was, let me move this out of the way so you see what I'm doing. So I'm just standing here. I'm keeping one leg this way. I'm going to step again out. See that? And if you have tight hips or if you have a tip that's giving you some issues, you're going to feel it through here. Okay? So this leg is straight. This leg you can just bend as much as you feel you can. But while you're doing that, you want to open up through here. Okay? Do a little experiment. Okay? Bend this knee as far as you feel you can as you're stepping wide, opening, opening, opening. Bring your palms up, and then your thumbs start to point and move back. So now you're opening through the hip, you're opening through the shoulders. I'm going to turn my chin. I'm going to turn my chin. And if you will keep your knee just a little soft, don't lock it. Don't lock this knee. You will hold your balance so much better. Take a big deep breath. Take a big deep breath. Take a big deep breath. Thumbs are going backwards, shoulders are going down. Push and move your hands in the direction of the thumb. Turn your head. turn your head, hold your ground, hold your ground. You're opening, 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 and bring them down. Okay, bring that leg in. Then we're gonna do the other one. So I'm standing here. Yeah, if you wanted to make this super difficult, your one leg would be on your pad, but you would need to do this next to a wall. Okay, so now I'm gonna turn, and remember we did this already in opening up our joints. Okay, so I'm right here. If you lock this leg, when you start turning your head, when we get our arms up, you're gonna lose your balance. Soften those knees. You can go wide as you can here, see? Your toes pointing that away. This toe's pointing this away. Okay? Take a big deep breath, drop your shoulders, soften your knee. Okay, this one's bent, but this one's a little soft because I'm gonna bring my hands up to my W, then I'm gonna bring them out, and then I'm gonna start pointing back, okay? And some of you might say, well, Jeannie, we already did that one. Well, we're doing it on this side. You know why? Because everything you've done this morning so far in your movement patterns, almost everything. See, I'm consciously trying to push my arms back with my thumb as I turn my chin, as I'm going through this whole thing. Okay, stay open, soften up your knees, turn your head. Now shoulder blades should be kind of squeezing, okay? Take a big deep breath. Shoulder blades are squeezing. Yeah, open. Big breath, turn. Keep that knee soft. See how I'm turning, holding your ground. Take a big breath. Come back in. Yeah, very good. All right. Take a big breath through the nose again. Exhale. You see what I'm doing? Now I'm going to slide my leg back. Okay. Now I'm straight forward. You can make this very difficult by putting your feet in a straight line, or you can make it much more doable by just opening wider. Okay. Perfectly fine. The biggest deal that I want you to know here is I want you to step wide because I'm going to bring that back knee down. If I bring that back knee down, I want to be as wide open as I can be because this is opening this. Okay, that's the big plus here. And so, let's see, I think I was explaining to you why I did 2 of these. Because everything you did this morning was doing this. Everything you did. You bent forward to eat, to brush your teeth, to drink your coffee, to be on your computer. I'm trying to get you to open here before I start to do planky type things, okay? Now, look at the leg in the back. Some of you may be standing here saying, but I got to hold on to something. Well, yeah, you got to decide what you need to make this a safe move. I'm trying to get you to open here at the same time, open through your back, okay? Now, when I start to rotate, this one's a little nuanced. What does that mean? That means I typically don't do this unless I'm with somebody because sometimes it's hard for them to understand what I want them to do here. So we're in the position, the shoulders are dropped, right? Breathing through the nose, yes. Try to open your feet. This is big stretch back here. And what am I gonna do? I'm gonna bring that back knee down. See that? And I'm sliding this front one up. Have your chair, have your wall. But now right here, I want you to tuck your tail, okay? That starts to move and open through your whole lower back, your hip as it joins into the hip, the pelvic area, okay? And then come back and put that knee down, that heel down. Okay, we're gonna do that one more time. Stay with me. Drop your shoulders, breathe. Yeah, ribcage up. Now bend the knee down. Now at that point, you tuck Yeah, that changes the position of those hip bones, okay? And tries to help you open through the hip. And then you put that heel down. It should be talking to you right now. So how am I going to get out of this? I'm so wide. How am I going to get out of this? Put your hand on a wall. Put your hand on the chair. Do a little press forward. That's it. Okay? Take a big deep breath. Now we're going to, don't forget which leg was in front. There's always that. Okay. So if you got real tightened up, just do a point flex. See that? Point flex, point flex. Okay, this has a lot to do with how you work through your lower back, your hips and the tightness of your hip. And if you walk funny, you got to get your hips open and more mobile. So this is what this one's all about. So now I'm going to go into that. Again, you can make this extremely difficult by doing tandem. Not really necessary. I don't want you falling, okay? Oh dear, my dogs are seeing critters. Okay, are you ready? Now my other leg's forward. And I'm a little wider, see? Because I want to get into this position. And if I'm trying to struggle for my balance because I want to make it hard and I'm here, that doesn't make sense. So just open, all right? Don't turn your feet. Your feet are forward. Okie dokie. So you're going to step forward. And as you start thinking about bending that back knee, you got to say rib cage up. Okay. Use your chair if you need to. See how I'm bending the back knee? Okay. So it's right about here. It's right about here that I want to tuck my tail. Yeah. Tuck your tail. Take a big deep breath, drop your shoulders, bring that knee down, tuck. Yeah, just like that. Just like that. Tuck, tuck, tuck. Bring that knee down. Take a big breath, drop your shoulders. Woo. Tuck, and then come back. See, open that back. Don't change your position. Are you ready? Okay. When I put the foot back, I put the heel down, I say rib cage up, okay? Drop your shoulders. Now when you start to slide your knee again down, I want you to tuck your tail, okay? That's gonna change the position of your whole hip and pelvic area, all right? Big opening of the hip. And if you have a tight hip, as I have a tight hip, you're gonna be feeling it big time right here. Take a big deep breath and then come back and push that heel down. Say rib cage up. Okay, how are you gonna get out of this? You're just gonna press forward and come right out of it. See that? Yeah. All right. Last one in the opening up arena. Okie dokie. We're gonna use the chair as our helper. So we're going to come right here. All right. Okay. Number one, if you want to know if you have decreased range of motion through your hip flexors and extensors, there's a couple of ways. One of the ways is if you go to lift your leg and you do a funny little turn like this to get your foot up here, right there, when I see a client do that, I know we've got decreased range of motion through the hip, okay? So drop your shoulders, say rib cage up, use a pole, the chair, a wall. Don't fall in order to do this. But what I want you to do is shift, lower your center of gravity by what? By hunching forward, leaning forward? No. By hip hinging and by hinging at the knee. Shift. Now, when you go to bring this up, bring it all the way up and put it down. See that? This is the trick right here. Anybody that has been with me for any length of time, I want this move to be smooth and pretty effortless, okay? And if it's not, chances are it's because of your tight back or tight hamstrings or both. Okay, I'm gonna switch here. So I know I have a tight hip here. So I'm gonna soften my knee, hip hinge, rib cage up, shift my weight, lift, 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 and then put it down. Lift and take it off. See that? Use your chair if you need it. Anytime. Use a wall. Use a pole, whatever. What I'm trying to get you to do is to get your hip being able to be mobile, okay? So I spent the whole first part of class in that effort. I just want you to know. So I'm gonna go lift up, and you can put your hand here if you need to, and then bring it down and step way back. And there we go, opening that hip again. See that? So I'll do that a couple of times. Use your pole if you need it. All right, or use a wall. Okay, here we go. This is my tight hip, so I'm gonna shift. Take a big deep breath, rib cage up. Bring that knee all the way up and down, and then up and pull it way back here. Okie dokie. Say rib cage up. All right, come back in. Take a big deep breath. Now, let me show you a little addendum to this. So I'm gonna come here and I'm gonna hold my ground and I'm gonna use one hand on my leg. I'm gonna use one hand on the chair. I'm gonna really pull that knee up and bring it down. See that? This move has everything to do with hip flexors and extensors, okay? Your lower back. When you come up and you're lifting it up, you're helping your muscle to lift with your hand. That's okay. Soften your knee, okay? And take a breath. Exhale and bring that little leg up as far as you can and come back down. All right, now we're gonna do the other leg. Put your hand on the chair if you need to. Some of you may not need to. So here I go. I'm trying to figure out how to do it to best show you what I'm doing. Okay, I'm gonna go this way. All right. So I'm gonna come up, I'm gonna soften my knee, soften. I'm gonna go to my toe, and now I'm gonna lift and pull that leg up there as high as I can go with it. Take a big deep breath, use your hand on your chair if you need to. It's perfectly fine. You can come just kind of like this and come like this, because I want you to hold it up there for just a second. Take a big deep breath. You can do point flex, point flex, point flex. Keep your supporting knee soft and then come back down. Yay. All right. Now we're gonna go on down to the floor. Do you have to get in the floor? No, you can do almost everything from the chair. Like if I do the quadruped, I can do it right here, okay? Opposite, opposite. I can do a quadruped from the chair. I'm gonna go on down to the floor, okay? So I'm gonna come right here and right here, and I'm on my hands and knees, and I'm gonna come right into this position, okay? Now I'm gonna set back into my heels. So I'm gonna come down, I can do it from the chair. So I can step wide, bend my knees, and just push back like we already did, but I can come to the floor, and I'm gonna push back here as far as I feel I can go, straight back. Take a big deep breath, then I'm gonna come back up. Then I'm gonna go into my quadruped. I'm gonna go push back, right there. I'm gonna cross over before I start, because what am I trying to do today? I'm trying to get you more mobile. So instead of just taking off, you see how I crossed over behind? I'll bring this one back and show you that again. See? So I'm going to do the quadruped, but before I do that, I go straight back. And so instead of getting right into it, I'm going to cross and open at that hip again. See that? See how I just came back there like that to open that hip? See that? Take a big deep breath. Drop your shoulders. Take a breath through your nose. You just hang out there for a couple of seconds. Then you come back. You bring your knee up and then go straight back from the hip. Okay, dokie. Tighten in the tummy. Raise one hand. Reach it. Take a big deep breath. Bring it in. And act like you're going to touch your elbow to your knee. And then you come back. Keep your chin tucked. Take a big deep breath. Bring your elbow in. Touch. We'll just do two. This is a mobility strengthen, but it's mobility work today. Trying to especially focus on opening your hips. So before I go to the other one, take that same leg and just bring it up to the side now. Okay? So, lest you think I'm doing too much to hurt my hip, I'm not. This is my hip replace side. I can very well come to the side here with my hip. This gives you great benefit. So I can go straight back, bring it here and come to the side, keep my shoulders down, and then set back. Set back into those heels, okay? So my limiting area on this one is, of course, my knee. This is my knee replace side. It's very tight. So I'm not going to push it and screw up my back just to get down more, because this only lets you go so far. Those of you with knee replacements know very well what I'm talking about. Shoulders down. So I'm going to go straight back with my other leg now, and I'm going to bring it right up at the hip level. No higher, no higher. So now I'm going to pull that belly button in, shoulders down, bring my hand up, hover it, then reach it. Then I'm going to slowly bring it in. I'm going to bring that knee to the elbow and come back. I'm going to keep my chin tucked, keep that leg up there. I'm going to bring my knee and my elbow in. I'm just going to do two very slow, very controlled moves. Then I'm going to put my hand down, and I'm going to take my hip on that side and go to the side. Take a big deep breath. Bring it down. Go to the side. Hold it up there for a little bit. Big deep breath, big deep breath, big deep breath. Yay. Okay, dig your toes in. We're going to do one big move here, and then we're going to be right back down. So we're not getting up yet, but you can do this very well from the chair. Just put your hands on the chair. Lower your elbows down to the chair as you plant your feet. That's the trick here. Okay, so I'm right here. I can use my fist if I want to. I'm going to tighten my tummy. I'm going to take one knee, then the other knee up. I'm going to plant my feet, and I'm going to make a V, upside down V. See that? I'm going to stay there for a little bit. Then I'm going to come back down. I'm going to go very slowly here. I'm going to go knee tap, knee tap, knee tap, knee tap, knee tap. Keep your elbows soft. Big breath. Knee tap, knee tap, knee tap, and down. Well, yay for you. Okay, so just so you know, that one right there, if I wanted to get stronger in my core and my upper body, more flexible in my legs, my calves, that's the one I'd focus on. And I would get to where I could warm up and do 2 or 3 sets of 10 of those. Today is mobility. I'm giving you little hints. You see what I just did? So I'm sitting on my sit bones. That's number one. A lot of people would used to poo-poo this move and say, oh, you know, I don't have to be able to do a split to be healthy. And I would say, no, you don't. However, you do have to be mobile so that you can move around your world a little more efficiently. So what am I going to do? What am I focusing on? Look, some of you cannot sit on your sit bones. I know it. So, and keep your legs down here. You can't. Okay. So you're doing this not to do a certain move. You know, you're doing this for better mobility. So I'm trying to get you to where you can sit in this position on your sit bones, not on the back of your back here, the back end. I want you to lift yourself up and try to sit on your sit bones. And if nothing else, if you're on a carpet and you can do this little inchworm walk, that's one of the best things. And if you really want to do this and make it hard for your tummy and you've got your back in good position, then do it with your feet up. Yeah, it's very difficult, and it's very difficult to go back. Okay, so if you can just walk forward and then put your hands down, lift and come back, lift and come back. So see how I'm rib cage up, big breath through the nose, and I'm lifting one of the tailbones, then the other tailbone. Do you see how much work that is? It's really good mobility work to do this kind of gentle pressing, rotating, moving forward. Stay rib cage up. So you just do a couple of, you know, do 6 to 10 butt walks. We call them butt walks. And we would do it with doing all kinds of ball pushes. Okay, drop your hands down, drop your shoulders. That's important. Lift, bring it back. Lift, bring it back. Okay, so I do that to prepare you for sitting properly so that you can do this next move. Okay, so just do this a couple of times for me. Okay, and if you do this and you put your hands back here and you feel that you're rounding, you're going into this kind of a position, you don't want to do that. Okay, that's what I'm trying to get you to sit on your sit bones. Got it? So once you've done that, then you can have one leg up, you can have both legs up, doesn't matter. What matters is that you feel things stretching and moving. So put one leg down, one leg up, put both legs up, say rib cage up, reach that hand. We've already practiced this, right? So I'm in this position and I'm trying to personalize this move. If it's very hard for you to sit on your sit bones with your legs down, chances are you have very tight hamstrings and hip joint socket. It's very tight. Okay, so I'm saying one or the other or even both. That's fine, but sit on your sit bones, rib cage up, reach up, and then act like you're gonna come over, but you're bending, your hips are still, but you're really reaching. See, we've done this one, so I'm repeating this, but I'm in a different position. And then I'm gonna bring my elbow in and get myself up. Some of you have very delicate backs, and I know this. And so I'm showing you a step-by-step to not mess your back up. So you either go straight out legs, if you can keep your back extended, okay, rib cage up, that's hard, then pull one knee, okay, we're gonna go this way this time. Stay on your sit bones and don't let your back flex, okay? So now I'm sitting here on my sit bones, I'm gonna come up, you can have one knee up or both knees up, but you can't have your back rounded. Now I'm gonna bend. Now I'm gonna say big breath through the nose, rib cage up, and I'm reaching. Yeah, with my legs in this kind of a V situation. Okay, now go a tiny bit wider with one leg or both. Or go wider with one leg and bend one leg. That's very doable for people, okay? Do one and then the other. Okay, everybody's a little different. I'm trying to give you some personalized ideas here of how to help mobilize through your hip, your lower back. It's a big deal, okay? So I'm right here, I'm going a little wider. Yeah, my toes are up, my toes are pointed. I'm leaning in from the hip. Some of you cannot. Please don't force it, because you know what you're going to do? You're going to lose every benefit, almost every benefit, because you're going to round your back. So I'm saying one leg wider before the other leg. If you're taking little steps, it's okay. If you can come out here, that's okay. Some people are just have more flexibility through there. Some people don't. I know how it feels now because this hip is tightening up on me. So I'm really trying to manage it. Now you see this little move that I'm doing right now? This little move, you might have missed it if you're watching me. I got my hands here at my knees, a little below. My toes are up. My rib cage is up. If I cannot sit on my sit bones in this position, I will bring one leg up or both. Okay, so that will be your position. You get to choose. I'm okay to be down here, but when I'm down here, I'm pushing and I'm turning. I'm turning my hip bones this way. And that will set up a huge stretch right through here, growing. It won't happen if you cave. This is caving. So this is not what we want to do. We want to say rib cage up. Use those bent knees if you need to. Turn the hip bones. So you're going to turn your chest and your hip bones toward this leg, for instance, whatever leg you chose. But you say rib cage up right now. Rib cage up. Now, there are some physical therapists that think this move that we just did with our hand up over and over is one of the moves that you should be doing for every day if you're past 40 or 50 every day. So do you see what I'm doing? My hand's here. My legs are pretty wide. My rib cage is up. I'm going to push and pull my hip bones and my shoulders toward this leg. And then I'm going to kind of like pull it forward to that leg. But I'm not going to cave my back. And this is a huge stretch right through here. Drop your shoulders. Take big breath through your nose. Big breath through your nose. Big breath through your nose. And then when you're ready to come back, you just come back here. Okay, you can bring your hand up. You can bring them over. I'm trying to get you to focus on this and this, turning toward the leg. I can open my shoulder while I do this by putting it back, okay? And it will help me to stay rib cage up. Okay, see, I'm in dorsiflexion here. I can go to plantar flexion, but I'm gonna do a lot in dorsiflexion because I really wanna get these sets of muscles mobilized. I'm gonna go one more time. Drop your shoulders, big breath, put your hand here. Knees can be bent, one can be bent or the other, however you need to do so that you're sitting on your sit bones. Do not do this if you're rounding your back, okay? Just back off of it, all right? Okay, I'm gonna turn, this is my hip replace side, this is my knee replace side. I'm not going too far. Okay, I'm gonna turn and I'm gonna just approach this knee. And there's the stretch right there. Got it? So you do that a couple of times until you're like, oh man, I'm not feeling the stretch here quite as much. Check your form. rib cage up, chin tucked, all that. And then do it until you don't feel this being quite as tight. So I can tell you this one on me is very tight. Okay, and maybe that's because this is my hip replace side. This is my knee replace side, but it's not as tight. Whatever reason. I know a few, but I won't go into that. Too much physiology is a snoozer. Okay, are you ready? Yeah, I know this is the big one. And I know there's people that are saying, oh, I don't have to do that to be healthy. Well, no, probably not, but it just won't move as well. Okay, so what am I hinting at? Okay, do you see I'm on my sit bones? See that? I'm on my sit bones. I'm not sitting back here. Because I can do this. If I could not be on my sit bones, my knees would be up. Okay, one or both. Keep your back extended and then act like somebody's pulling you forward. Okay, see, I'm just acting like I'm getting pulled forward. I'm going to be in dorsiflexion primarily. I'll do some plantar, but you see how I'm just kind of trying to reach forward, but I'm not bending my back. I'm not doing a big old flexed back. Okay, and big time stretching through here. You will not get this at all if you don't approach being on your sit bones. That's just the way it is. Okay, then you're going to come back. You're going to bend those knees. You're going to take a big breath, open back, just like this. Open back, hang on. See that? And just bring this leg up. Do not round your back and then come down. See that? See that? Then you rock up on your sit bones. Then you rock back, tighten, drop your shoulders, take a breath. Here we go. And here we go. Take a big deep breath and then draw the line all the way down with your heel and change. Tight tummy. Take a big breath. Bring it up and draw the line down. And bring it here. Okay? Straighten up back here. You're hanging on. Bring the knee up and draw the line down. Okay? Bring that knee up. Draw that line down. Okay? Now there's all kinds of stages of complexity and more difficult ways of doing this. My point is to get you mobile and to not discourage you with some of these moves that's very difficult for people to do. And it has to do with the way you're put together versus the way I'm put together versus the way somebody else is. You've got to modify, okay? So if I just lean back and I got my heels down and my rib cages are up and I release my hands and I go 1 and 2 and yeah, it's right here. Breath, 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 breath. Hands, don't cave on me. Don't cave on me. Ooh, okay. Now I'm going to take one leg and I'm going to bring it up. I'm going to bring it out. And I'm going to drop as far down as I can and drop and then come back in. Okay. Big breath through the rib cage. This leg now, I'm going to open, bring the knee up. Here we go, down and down. See how I'm taking you down on the trunk and on the leg? I know, it's very difficult for some people to do. Okay, let me see where we're at. We got to stay in keeping with this rotational thing. Okay. I'm going to roll to the side, just like that. Then I'm going to roll down. Okay, but before I do that, I'm going to do a little shoulder work. So how do I do that? So the way you can remember this is the roll into bed. You're rolling yourself into bed. Okay, you're going to sit and roll. See, put your hands like this. and bring that elbow up. Then you're going to come down as far as you can and then come back up. Then I come down and come back up. Okay, now I'm going to go back down one more time. My knees are locked into the side. Say rib cage up, drop my shoulders. I'm going to come all the way down. My elbow is up. I'm going to turn my other cheek and put my other cheek, the opposite cheek, this one down. See that? One more time. I'm going to come down, turn, woo, and come back up. So I want to turn that and get this cheek on that. So that opens up the whole shoulder when you do that. All right. Then I'm going to come right here. I'm going to rotate and go to the other side. So here I am, here I am, here I am, here I am. So now my legs are locked in, but I want to bring that arm up. And I'm going to go down like I'm doing a side push-up. And I'm going to try to get that opposite cheek turned toward that elbow that's up. And then come back. Okay, keep your knees there. Take a big deep breath. Here we come. Down, down, down. Turn your head toward this arm right here. Stay down there. Stay down there. Push back up. Push back up. Push back up. Yay. So here I am. Now, I did that one to get you down into a turn so that you could go down. So now I'm right here. I'm going to bring the feet up. I'm going to be in a dead bug. So I'm right here. And I'm going to go down with the heel, down with the heel. Dead bug. I'm going to do opposites. Right here and right here. See how I'm opening? Take a big deep breath. Now if I want to do it a little more stretch for the shoulder, I'll bend my elbows and I'll bring one hand down as I bring one leg down, and then I'll switch. So down as far to the ground as you can go, heel, and outstretch it and bring it back. Take a big deep breath, and here we go. Down, bring that elbow up, and then stretch the leg out. So a number of these. So go to the dead bug. I don't want you to get confused. You can either take your hand all the way above you, I can't because of this couch, and let your arms stretch, or you can bend your elbows if you're running out of room. It's up to you. Or you can just put your hands right here, put the backs of your hands down. Then what I want you to do in your dead bug is just go heel, heel, heel. See that? So it's a breath. But as you get knowing how to do the move, then I want you to just do a little extension. And I want you to keep your tummy tight, but do not grind your back into the ground. It needs to be in a neutral position as you extend. And see, I'm doing traction right now for all my shoulders because I'm trying to keep the backs of the hands down and keep my shoulders down and squeezing my shoulder blades. Take a breath. Exhale. Take a breath. Exhale. Take a breath. Exhale. Come back up. Okay, and the key here, when you see my legs going up and you're like, oh, I can't do that. That's okay. You don't have to do that, but what you have to do is stretch your hamstrings. So keep one knee bent and just coax one leg up until you can keep your hips down, and then do the other one until you can go pretty straight. So I got ankle, knee, hip. See that? So this is ankle, knee, hip. So some people cannot do that. They're out here. So I want you to keep them in, keep one leg in, sneak it up, but don't take it away from your belly button. See, this needs to be able to come right down if I dropped a plumb line onto my belly button. That's the point here. And you got to spend a little time doing this kind of a thing to give it a chance to get more flexible. But we're doing it, we're crossing it with movement related moves, because to stretch, that's the whole point. So it's an up, down, then you bring those knees down, you rotate to the side, you come back on your hands and knees, you bring it back. And now I'm in one of my most favorite positions. You can use this position very well to strengthen, to help your shoulders get stronger, to help your hips get stronger and more mobile. It's a crawl. You are right. That's what it is. It's a crawl. And if you have a hard time doing this because of your knees, I would get some volleyball knee pads and I would crawl around on the floor. Now it helps a lot if you throw some Dove chocolates around. The wrapped ones are better because then you don't get chocolate stains on your floor. And then you roll around and see how many you can get. You get the idea? Yeah. Okay, you have to keep your tummy tight. You can crawl all kinds of ways. But if you would spend 3 to 5 minutes on the ground crawling around, you would help yourself get stronger through your shoulders, stronger through your hips, stronger through your core. Okay, get the idea? All right, see how my toes are? They're pulled under. I have my chair here if I need it. I'm going to push back into my feet right there. I'm going to stay down there for just a little bit till I get equalized. And then when things are not spinning, I'll just come up. See that? Take a big deep breath. Give yourself a big hug. Drop your shoulders. Big breath. Drop your shoulders. Yeah, drop your shoulders. Yeah, so we did a lot of moves around the mobility that it takes to do the Strong Women, Strong Men Stay Young program. We're going to keep working at that all through January. So get those weights ready, especially your leg weights. I know. I hear you complaining already.